What if the voice you have been listening to your entire life, the one narrating this very moment, judging, planning, worrying, the voice you have always called me, isn't actually yours? That single question, if you truly let it in, past the defenses of the mind, past the habits of a lifetime, holds the power to dismantle everything you believe about who you are. It is the key that unlocks the door to a prison you never even knew you were in. If you are ready to finally stop listening to the noise and meet the vast, profound silence that is your true self, then take a deep breath with me now. Your journey home begins in this very moment. Subscribe and join this circle, because what you are about to discover is not just an idea. It is the beginning of the end of your suffering. And you do not have to walk this path alone. Part 1. The soul setting. Let us begin right where you are. There is no need to change a thing. You are sitting, perhaps, in a familiar room as the day finally surrenders to the evening. Feel the reality of this space. Notice the way the light is changing. It's no longer the harsh, direct light of midday, but a soft, tired glow that seems to understand the need for rest. Maybe it's autumn, and through the window the world is painted in shades of rust and gold. You can see the last, most stubborn leaves clinging to the skeletal branches of an old oak tree, their dance in the cooling breeze a lesson in letting go. The air itself carries a distinct message, a crisp chill that whispers of the coming winter, a gentle, earthly reminder that all things change, that all seasons must pass, that every form rises and eventually falls away. Feel the solid presence of the chair beneath you, supporting your weight without question or effort. It is simply there. Can you feel its texture through your clothes? Is it the soft yield of worn fabric or the cool, smooth resistance of leather? Allow your awareness to sink into these simple physical truths. Perhaps a blanket is draped over your legs. Feel its weight, its comforting, gentle pressure. Notice its weave, the tiny threads that come together to create this shield against the chill. Maybe you are holding a mug, its ceramic warmth seeping into your palms, a small anchor in the present moment. What is inside? Coffee? Hot water? Before you take a sip, just feel its presence. The weight, the heat, the curved handle fitting into your hand. These are not small things. They are the anchors to reality, the physical poetry of the now. The house around you is breathing. It makes its usual intimate sounds, the soft, almost imperceptible groan of wood settling, the distant, steady hum of the refrigerator standing guard in the kitchen, a low thrum that has been the soundtrack to countless moments of your life. These are the rhythms of your sanctuary, the subtle backdrop to the much louder, more insistent conversation happening inside your head. For years, maybe for decades, this inner voice has been your most constant companion. It was there when you were a child, lying in the grass, watching clouds drift by as it spun wild dreams about who you would become. It was there on your first day of school, a nervous chatterbox of worries and what-ifs. It was there during your greatest, most sun-drenched triumphs, perhaps whispering, "Don't get too comfortable, it won't last." And it was certainly there in the depths of your most painful heartbreaks, a relentless prosecutor replaying every mistake, every word, every regret, on an endless loop. It's there right now, isn't it? As you listen to these words, it comments. It analyzes. This sounds interesting. Is this going to work? I should be doing something more productive. My back hurts. It pulls you from this moment into the future, into the past, anywhere but here. You've lived with this voice for so long, so intimately, that you've never thought to question its authority. You've simply assumed, with the certainty of your own name, with the certainty of gravity itself, that voice is me. It is the center of your universe, the thinker of your thoughts, the feeler of your feelings. But tonight, we are going to do something radical. We are going to challenge that assumption. We are going to gently, patiently, lovingly, pull back the curtain on the greatest illusion of all. Part 2, the hidden voice. So let's pause. Let's really look at this voice, this constant mental stream, perhaps for the very first time. Let's observe it not as ourselves but as a phenomenon, like watching a storm or a flock of birds. What is its nature? It is a project manager, obsessing over deadlines, creating to-do lists that stretch into infinity. It is a courtroom lawyer, endlessly prosecuting and defending your case before a jury that doesn't exist. It is a frantic historian, digging through the archives of your memory, pulling out old grievances and faded photographs, demanding you re-examine them. It is a nervous fortune-teller, gazing into a cloudy crystal ball, predicting 1,000 different catastrophic futures, 99% of which will never come to pass. This voice is a master of disguise. One moment, it is the voice of reason, calm and logical. The next, it is the voice of a terrified child, crying out for safety. Then it becomes the voice of an arrogant critic, looking down on others, on yourself, with disdain. It is a chameleon, changing its tone and its story to fit the emotional weather of the moment. And above all, it never ever stops. Even in your sleep, it doesn't rest. It hijacks your subconscious, weaving its anxieties and desires into the fragmented narratives we call dreams. You wake up, and before your feet even touch the floor, it's there waiting for you. You didn't sleep well. Today is going to be hard. Remember what you have to do. Our entire culture is built on serving this voice. Self-help tells you to tame it, to discipline it, to change your negative thoughts into positive ones. Therapy helps you exhume its origins, to understand why it tells the stories it does, tracing them back to your childhood, to your traumas. These are useful endeavors, but they operate within the same fundamental illusion. They are all attempts to rearrange the furniture in a prison cell, instead of realizing the door was never locked. They all miss the one liberating, explosive question. Who is the one hearing these thoughts? Think about this slowly. Let the question land. If you can observe the voice, if you can notice its patterns, its tone, its frantic energy, then you, the observer, cannot be the voice. If you are aware of a thought, you must be something other, something larger than the thought itself. There must be a space between the awareness and the thought. This is the truth that has been hidden from you in plain sight, drowned out by the noise of the very voice it describes. This is the beginning of a Copernican revolution of the soul. The earth is not the center of the universe. And you are not the voice in your head. You are not the thinker. You are the vast, silent, profound awareness in which all thinking happens. You have mistaken one of the actors on the stage for the stage itself. Part 3. The practice of observation. Let's not leave this as a beautiful theory. Let's make this real. A direct experience. Right here, right now. You don't need to go anywhere special. You don't need to do anything at all. In fact, this is a practice of undoing. I invite you, if it feels right and safe for you, to gently close your eyes. If not, simply let your gaze soften, resting on a single point in the room without focus. Now bring your attention to your breath. Don't change it. Don't try to make it deeper or slower. Just feel the simple, honest reality of it. Feel the air as it enters your nostrils, a little cooler. Feel it as it fills your lungs. And feel it as it leaves your body, a little warmer. This breath has been with you every second of your life, a faithful, silent rhythm. Just rest in that rhythm for a few moments. Now, with that gentle anchor of the breath, we're going to do something very simple. We are going to listen. Listen to the chatter in your mind, but with a new intention. Your intention is not to stop it, not to judge it, not to analyze it, and not to get carried away by it. Your intention is simply to notice it, to witness it. Imagine you are sitting on the green, mossy bank of a river. The thoughts are leaves, twigs, and branches floating by on the current. Your job is not to jump into the river. Your job is not to try and redirect the current or pull the leaves out. Your job is simply to sit on the bank and watch them float by. A thought about your to-do list for tomorrow might appear. I'll leave. See it, acknowledge it, and let it float on. A memory from last week, a conversation you wish had gone differently. There it is, a branch. Let it pass. A sudden, sharp worry about your health or the health of someone you love. A heavy log in the water. See it. Feel its weight. And let the current of time carry it downstream. Don't push it away. Don't cling to it. Just let it be. Notice the nature of these thoughts. Notice their tone. Is the voice hurried? Anxious? Is it a whisper or a shout? Notice how it jumps, erratically, from one subject to another with no logical connection. One moment it's about dinner, the next it's about a childhood memory, the next it's a fragment of a song. See its restless, chaotic, untamed nature. It is like a frightened monkey, leaping from branch to branch, never settling, never at peace. And as you continue to watch this mental river, you will begin to notice something else. Something extraordinary. You will notice that there is a part of you that is not in the river. A part of you that is completely still. The part that is sitting on the bank. The part that is watching. This awareness, this silent, background presence, that is closer to the real you than any thought, any memory, any leaf that could ever float by. Let this sink in. The thoughts are the clouds, moving, changing, sometimes dark and stormy, sometimes bright and fluffy. But you are the sky. The vast, open, limitless sky. The clouds are born in the sky, they move through the sky, and they dissolve back into the sky. But they never ever stain the sky. They never harm the sky. The sky remains before the clouds, during the clouds, and after the clouds. Unchanging. Peaceful. Eternal. Can you feel that? Can you feel yourself not as the fleeting cloud, but as the vast, welcoming sky? Just for a moment, rest in that feeling. Rest in your own boundless nature. Part 4. Wisdom of the wise. This is not some New Age idea conjured out of thin air. This is an ancient, perennial truth, a golden thread woven through the tapestries of all the world's great wisdom traditions. It is the core teaching of the Buddha, the heart of Taoist philosophy, the secret of the Christian mystics. It is a truth that has been rediscovered again and again by those who have had the courage to look within. The philosopher and spiritual entertainer Alan Watts, a master at translating Eastern wisdom for the Western mind, articulated this with a beautiful and disarming simplicity. He would often ask a question that cuts to the very heart of our modern predicament. He would say something to this effect: a person who thinks all the time has nothing to think about except thoughts. So, he loses touch with reality and lives in a world of illusion. Microscope. Let's unpack that statement because it is a key. Thinking about thoughts. Isn't that what we do? We have a thought and then we have another thought about that thought. I'm so anxious. That's the first thought. Then the voice comes in with a commentary: I shouldn't be anxious. What's wrong with me? I need to fix this. This anxiety is going to ruin my day. Now you're no longer just experiencing a feeling, you're caught in a web of secondary thoughts, a hall of mirrors created by the mind. You are lost in a self-contained world, a mental simulation of life that you mistake for the messy, vibrant, unpredictable reality of life itself. Watts wasn't suggesting that we should strive to become thoughtless zombies, incapable of planning or reasoning. That's a common misunderstanding. He was pointing to the immense, liberating freedom that arises when we stop identifying with the constant, compulsive stream of thinking. When you realize in your bones that you are the listener and not the voice loses its tyrannical power over you. It can no longer command your emotions like a puppet master. It can no longer dictate your actions from a place of fear. It can no longer define your worth with its endless, arbitrary judgments. It simply becomes what it is: noise. Mental weather. A biological function of the brain, like the beating of the heart or the digestion of food. It's happening, but it isn't who you are. And you, the silent, spacious awareness, are the silence that holds the noise. And in that holding, without resistance, without struggle, the noise begins to lose its charge. It begins to quiet down, not because you forced it to, but because you stopped feeding it the one thing it needs to survive: your belief in it. Can you feel the truth of that? Even just a glimpse of it, that sacred space between you, the awareness, and the voice, the thought. That space is the beginning of true freedom. It's the crack in the matrix. It's the first breath of fresh air after a lifetime in a stuffy room. If this is resonating with you, if you can feel that space, however small, opening up within you, imagine how deep this can go. Imagine living from that space. This is the work we do here together. This is the journey. You're feeling this shift? I invite you to click the like button right now. Let it be a conscious act, a declaration to the universe, and to this growing community, that you are ready for more. That you are choosing awareness over automation. Every like, every share, sends a ripple of this silence out into a noisy world, helping others to wake up from the same dream. You are not just watching a video, you are participating in a collective awakening. Now let us venture further into this space you've discovered. What is its quality? For so long you've been identified with the mind, which is always busy, always agitated, always doing. The nature of thought is restlessness. But what is the nature of this awareness? Feel into it. It is still. It is calm. It doesn't need to go anywhere or achieve anything. It is already whole, already complete. It is inherently peaceful. This peace is not something you need to acquire or create. It is your natural state. It is the background of your being, which has been drowned out by the foreground of your thinking. Discovering this peace is not an act of addition but of subtraction. You are simply noticing what has been here all along, beneath the layers of conditioning, beneath the noise, beneath the false identity of the voice in your head. This awareness is a sanctuary. It is your true home. And you can return to it at any moment, simply by shifting your attention from the thoughts to the one who is aware of the thoughts. Part 6. Emotions in space. Now, let's take this newfound awareness and bring it to one of the most powerful and challenging aspects of the human experience: our emotions. This is where the illusion feels most convincing. Thoughts can feel abstract, but emotions feel so visceral, so real, so personal. We don't just say, there is a feeling of anger. We say with absolute conviction, I am angry. We don't say, a wave of sadness is passing through. We say, I am sad. We merge our entire sense of self, our entire identity, with the fleeting energy of the feeling. But it's the same illusion, simply manifesting on a different, more embodied level. What is an emotion really? It is a wave of energy, a cascade of biochemical reactions that moves through the body, often triggered by a thought from that same hidden voice. The voice whispers a story from the past. Remember when they betrayed you? And a hot, bitter surge of resentment rises in your chest and tightens your jaw. The voice spins a tale about the future. What if you fail? You're going to be alone and destitute. And a cold, clenching knot of fear forms in the pit of your stomach. The thought is the spark. The emotion is the fire that consumes you. But you are not the fire. You are not the anger. You are not the fear. You are the space in which that energy is allowed to arise, to be felt, and to move. When you stop identifying with the emotion, when you stop believing the story that the voice attaches to it, something miraculous happens. You can finally feel it fully without being consumed by it. Let's use the metaphor of the ocean again. An emotion is like a wave. Some waves are gentle, like the soft lapping of joy or contentment. Others are tsunamis, like the towering waves of rage, grief, or terror. When you are identified with the wave, you are tossed and turned helpless against its power. You become the wave. But when you realize that you are not the wave but the vast, deep, boundless ocean itself, everything changes. You can allow the wave of anger to rise within you. You can feel its immense power, its heat, its intensity. You can watch it crest, hold its peak, and then feel it as it naturally begins to subside, to break, and to dissolve back into the stillness of the ocean. It was just weather. It was a temporary disturbance on the surface. It never, for a moment, touched the silent depths of the ocean. You, the ocean, remain. You can hold any wave, no matter how powerful, because your nature is infinitely larger than any single expression of energy that passes through you. This is true emotional freedom. Not the absence of difficult feelings, but the ability to be with them, to hold them in a vast, compassionate, non-judgmental space, and to know that they are not you. Part 7. The silent testimony. This awareness, this silent witness, this inner sky, this boundless ocean, it has been with you your entire life. It is the one thing that has never, ever changed. Think back. Go back in your memory. Can you remember being a 5-year-old child lying on your back in the summer grass, looking at the world with a sense of pure, unfiltered wonder? The voice in your head was quieter then, the story simpler. But the awareness that was looking out through those young eyes, feeling the tickle of the grass on your skin, hearing the buzz of a bumblebee, that awareness is the exact same awareness that is looking out through your eyes right now. Can you remember being a teenager, experiencing the shattering, all-consuming pain of your first heartbreak? The thoughts were a storm, the emotions a hurricane. Your entire world felt like it was ending. But the presence that was witnessing that storm, that was feeling that pain, that presence is still here. It was untouched by the drama. It simply witnessed. It's been there through every success that inflated your ego and every failure that crushed it. It's been there through every moment of profound confusion and every sudden flash of diamond-like clarity. It has seen all your masks, all your roles, all your performances. It has witnessed your entire life story, yet it has no story of its own. It has no age. It has no gender. It has no nationality. It has no trauma. It is the one constant in your entire, ever-changing existence. Let's try another metaphor. Imagine your life is a movie. It's an epic film filled with drama, comedy, tragedy, and adventure. The scenes change constantly, from a classroom to an office, from a wedding to a hospital room. The characters come and go. Friends, lovers, enemies, family. The plot is full of unpredictable twists and turns. The hidden voice in your head is the relentless narrator, endlessly commenting on the film, judging the characters, predicting the ending. But you are not the actor on the screen. You are not the story being told. You are not even the narrator. You are the screen itself. The silent, empty, unchanging presence upon which the entire movie unfolds. The images of joy, pain, light, and shadow are projected onto the screen. They appear vivid and real. But do they ever stay in the screen? Does the screen become happy during a joyful scene or sad during a tragic one? No. The screen is what allows the movie to be seen, but it is utterly unaffected by it. It is the most fundamental, most essential element of the whole experience, yet because it is so simple, so still and so silent, it is always overlooked. Everyone is mesmerized by the drama of the movie. No one pays attention to the screen. To realize you are the screen is to wake up from the movie. You can still watch it. You can still appreciate its beauty and its drama. But you are no longer lost in it. You are no longer a victim of its plot. You are free. Part 8. Finding what lurks in the shadow. As you begin to spend more time resting in this silent awareness, as the noise of the voice begins to quiet down, you may discover that the silence is not empty. As you create this safe, spacious container within yourself, something else can happen. The things you've pushed down for years, the feelings you've successfully avoided, the truths you've run from your entire life, they may start to gently or not so gently bubble up to the surface. This is a critical juncture on the path, and it is where many turn back. A sudden, inexplicable wave of grief might wash over you. A flash of old, hot anger might arise. A deep-seated feeling of shame or unworthiness that you thought you had dealt with long ago may reappear. The first reaction of the conditioned mind, the hidden voice, is to panic. Oh no, this isn't working. I'm supposed to feel peaceful, but I feel worse. I must be doing it wrong. But this is not a sign that you're doing it wrong. It is a sign that you are finally, for the first time, doing it right. You are finally creating enough safety and space for true, deep healing to occur. For decades, you've used the noise of the mind, the busyness of life, the endless distractions, to keep these powerful energies suppressed in the basement of your psyche. Now you've opened the basement door and they are tentatively stepping out into the light. The great Swiss psychologist Carl Jung, who built a bridge between modern psychology and ancient mysticism, knew that true spiritual growth was not a journey into pure, unadulterated light. It was an integration of the darkness. Person in lotus position, he taught, with profound wisdom, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. That sudden anxiety, that restless energy, that pang of grief that appears out of nowhere in the silence, that is your shadow. That is the darkness coming into the light of your awareness, not to harm you, but to be healed by you. Your task is not to fight it. Your task is not to analyze it into oblivion. Your task is not to run from it. Your task is simply to let it be held. To allow that old, orphaned feeling of grief to be held in the vast, silent, compassionate space of who you truly are. Can you be the sky for this storm cloud? Can you be the ocean for this wave of pain? You don't have to fix it. You don't have to change it. You simply have to meet it with your presence. And in that meeting, in that compassionate, non-judgmental holding, the energy that was trapped for so long can finally complete its cycle. It can finally release. This is the alchemy of awareness. It turns the lead of our pain into the gold of our presence. It is the most courageous act of self-love there is. Part 9. Living from consciousness. Living from this place of awareness changes everything. Not in a sudden, explosive moment, but slowly, subtly, moment by moment. It's a gradual unfolding. You start to notice the gap. The sacred pause between a trigger and your habitual reaction. You're driving and someone cuts you off in traffic. You can feel the familiar, automatic response bubbling up. The tightening in your chest, the surge of adrenaline, the angry words forming in your mind. But now there's a space. You can see the thought, that idiot. I need to honk, I need to react. And in that space you have a choice. You can see the thought for what it is, just a thought, a conditioned pattern, and you can choose not to believe it. You can choose not to board that train of anger. You take a breath and you let it go. The wave passes. You remain. You start to live with a sense of profound lightness, because you are no longer carrying the impossibly heavy burden of a fragile, fearful, and endlessly demanding ego. The need to be right, the need to be seen as smart or successful, the need to defend your opinions, all of this starts to feel like a heavy, unnecessary coat that you can finally take off. You are no longer a person desperately trying to manage, control, and protect your little slice of life. You are life itself, the universal consciousness, experiencing this fleeting moment through the senses of this particular body. And because you are no longer trapped in the abstract world of thought, the real world comes alive. You begin to experience life directly, without the constant filter of the narrator's commentary. The simple act of drinking a glass of water becomes a miracle. The coolness, the wetness, the feeling of it quenching a thirst. The rustle of leaves in the wind is no longer just a sound. It is the music of the universe. The taste of a fresh strawberry explodes on your tongue. The feeling of your own breath, moving in and out, becomes a source of profound joy and gratitude. Life is no longer something you are thinking about. It is something you are living, in high definition, in every moment. The joy you were seeking was never in getting what you wanted. It was always here, in the simple, overlooked miracle of being. Part 10. The broken illusion. And then one day it happens. It may not come with a flash of lightning or a choir of angels. It might be so quiet that the mind almost misses it. It might happen while you're washing the dishes or walking the dog or simply sitting in that same quiet room. A quiet, profound, unshakable realization that settles not into your mind, but into your very bones. You look out that same window at that same old oak tree. You feel the familiar weight of that same mug in your hands. You hear the steady rhythmic ticking of a clock on the wall. Everything is exactly as it was before. And yet, everything is completely different. Because you are different. You realize with a certainty that requires no proof, that you are not the one in the chair. You are the room. You are the vast, silent, benevolent stillness that holds the chair, that holds the window, that holds the ticking clock, and that holds the body that is sitting there, breathing. The hidden voice may still whisper its stories in a corner of the room, but it's a distant, harmless echo in a vast cathedral of silence. It no longer has any gravity, any pull. The search is over. The endless striving has ended. The desperate need to become better, to fix yourself, to finally arrive, it all dissolves like mist in the morning sun. Because the one who was searching was the illusion all along. You were never lost. You were never broken. You were never separate from the peace you were seeking. You were always here. Home. This peace, this stillness, this silent, loving awareness, this is your true nature. It has been patiently, endlessly waiting for you, right behind the noise of your mind, for your entire life. This is the one truth that breaks the illusion forever. You are not the voice. You are the one who hears it. And in that hearing, in that silent, spacious, loving awareness, you are finally, irrevocably, gloriously free. You were never born and you will never die. You are the awareness in which this entire universe appears and disappears. Welcome home. If this message has touched that silent place within you, subscribe to continue this journey inward. This is not the end, it is the true beginning. And the silence is calling you to walk deeper into it,